Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And as promised, folks, always enjoy these visits. We have joining us on the stream Alan Mendenhall with the Heritage Foundation, and he's the research fellow there at Thomas A. Rowe Institute for Economic Policy Research Fellow and senior advisor at the Free Enterprise Initiative at Heritage. Alan, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Joey. How are y'all?
Oh, we're all right. Yeah, well, life is flying by. Real quick, what do you think about just that American pride moment of Team USA delivering the gold in hockey?
I love it. I don't know if y'all spoke about the article from Canada that was out yesterday.
Just did. Yeah.
But, oh man, that was great. I love that these southern red states are outperforming all the blue states, to say nothing of Canada.
Amen.
We've got job growth, we've got population growth, we've got businesses relocating to these southern states. Alabama still could do better, but if we follow in the footsteps of Texas and Florida and South Carolina, we're going to be just fine. So these blue states have bad weather, high cost of living, and we've got more housing down here. We got a lower cost of living. It's a much better option for people.
Yeah, just a second ago, I read your response on X saying you were out on the golf course in shorts. They couldn't pay you $10 million to move to Canada?
Well, it's funny. For 11, I would go for a summer.
Well, you would get taxed at 42% initially going up there, so you got to remember that.
That's right.
So one thing that is, it's almost like I love seeing the turnaround here. The piece you have out today on Regions Financial, it seems like y'all's efforts in particular have worked, and nobody had to necessarily cry uncle. Regions just seems like has seen the error of their ways.
Yeah, this was a great development. So in this engagement process, in a lot of so every one of our engagements with companies is different. In this engagement, the Boyer research team did the lion's share of the work, in part because we were frankly concerned that I might be a little bit of an impediment to the negotiation process rather than a help. So Boyer took over. They did a great job, and Regions negotiated in good faith. They are scaling back a lot of their sort of woke activities. They're disengaging from the Ceres Climate Network group, and they're making commitments to do some other things going forward to make sure that people of religious faith in the workplace are respected. And so we're actually really excited about not just the progress we've made, but the enthusiasm with which Regions responded. I think there was a short little window there at the beginning of the engagement where they were like, oh, why is this Alan Mendenhall guy writing so much about us? But we got over that hurdle and had a successful negotiation, had a successful engagement, and we actually withdrew our proposal. So there's nothing to put on their proxy statement. There's none of that. We're excited about Regions' efforts going forward.
Well, and let's remind people of that fight and the initiative you're helping run there. That maybe if we could step back to a running jump here. Yeah. When did this start where corporations became not economic platforms, but vectors for social change and engineering political platform?
Oh, this is a great story. So it's happened over the course of a few decades, but the United Nations and the government of Switzerland held this conference in 2004 called Who Cares Wins. And you can find the report from that conference online. It's on PDF. You can download it. And there is literally a roadmap explaining how we were going to get to sustainability development goals and how we're going to make social progress and all these kinds of things. Well, after that conference, the ideas didn't catch on immediately. But when we had the 2008 financial crisis, I don't know if you remember, but people were calling for heads to roll. People wanted like executives going to jail. And people were mad. There was Occupy Wall Street on the left, but the right didn't like the bailouts either. Nobody was happy with the big banks. But then all of a sudden, the banks saw this ESG stuff floating around and some of this corporate sustainability work, and they realized, oh, this is great marketing and PR because we can get the left off our backs if we start embracing this kind of stuff. And gradually, corporate America, which has always sort of trended left in their commercials and advertising, but yet for a long time, they would give to both political parties. In the 90s, they were giving money to Republicans, they were giving money to Democrats. But this acceleration into wokeness really happened after the 2008 financial crisis. And then you had the rise of these institutional investors and asset management firms like BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, who were really pushing companies to the left. Both BlackRock and Vanguard have taken massive steps back from that. State Street's still doing a lot of ESG-related stuff, still doing some bad stuff, in my opinion. Those three asset management firms are still large shareholders at Regions. So when you think about what we were able to accomplish in Heritage, that's great because we're probably going up against adverse engagement by a firm like BlackRock. I don't know what BlackRock did during this process, and I have no idea, but it would not surprise me if they were oppositional to what we were trying to do.
And sometimes all some of these corporations need is just the alternative pressure coming from a different direction.
Oh my goodness. We heard that so many times. So we engaged 26 companies this season, and we've withdrawn about 10 proposals. I think we were talking about withdrawing the 11th. And I can't tell you the number of those companies. I don't know if it's half, maybe less than half. I don't know. I don't have a ready figure for you, but many of them come and say something like this. Thank you. We've gotten so much pressure from the left that all we needed is just somebody on the right to tell us to stop doing this or to give us just the slightest bit of pressure because we don't want to be doing this. It's not good for our business. It takes us away from our core business purpose. It alienates consumers. We don't want to be doing it, but yet because we're feeling the pressure from shareholders in only one direction, we felt that we had to go in that direction. And they're thankful. Meta is a great example. I don't think Meta would mind, honestly, if I talked about their engagement. That engagement was so great where they said, look, tell us if we're using the SPLC. We'll look high and low, far and wide, anywhere you want us to look to make sure we are not touching the Southern Poverty Law Center's diagnostic tools, including their hate mail. We don't want to go anywhere close to that. And it was awesome. So they dropped it. Other companies that had a similar engagement, MasterCard was very similar in their SPLC. They dropped SPLC right away. Salesforce dropped SPLC right away. SPLC is toxic for American businesses. And they realize it. And a lot of these companies didn't realize they were even embracing the SPLC diagnostic tools. What happened is in their charitable giving, they use a company called Benevity, which sets these screens. So if you want to do employee matching and you have an employee who wants to give to ADF or Family Research Council or Turning Point USA or any other normal mainstream conservative organization that the SPLC has designated as a hate group, then you couldn't get the employee match. Well, as soon as these companies found out that Benevity was doing that, they directed Benevity to stop. One company in particular, I won't use the name because I don't know that they would really want me to use the name in this context. They said, look, we really like Benevity. The service they provide is really good. If they just drop the screens, we'll be happy. And that's what happened. Benevity dropped the screens and everybody was happy. And that was a successful engagement. Everybody ended up happier. The company ended up a better company. We got what we wanted as shareholders. Perfect situation.
Yeah, and there's almost this moment, and I forget what year, but early in the Biden administration, I guess it's right after Elon Musk buys Twitter and turns it into X. And this may have more to do with the media fights and who controls the narrative. But I think symbolically, this pushback against, say, the corporate cartels and this network of folks just embedded within the corporate culture is when Elon, sitting down with Aaron Ross Sorkin, says, if you're going to try to blackmail me with money, go F yourself. And it just seems to me like that was, you have one guy who does have the money to be able to say that, actually pushing back. And then you have people like yourself and so many organizations that are now providing to these corporations. You don't have to give in to these tactics. You don't have to give in to these folks that are putting the pressure on you. I love it.